Shalom, good morning. Thank you to everyone who made suggestions for videos. I really appreciate that because I've felt stymied and I'm not sure if it's the seasons or whatever. I am going to take you all up on some of your ideas. This morning's video will be on a military wife story. I'm going to switch the view here so you see a prettier view because we're about to come up on buildings and stuff. So let me do this. And there, isn't that nice with the woods behind me and everything? So this particular story happened when we were going overseas. The military did send us overseas at least once in my husband's 20 years. And we went to a third world Asian Muslim country. And when we went, we were supposed to have diplomatic passports because every other military person who had gone to the position we went to did have diplomatic passports. And it makes a huge difference when you're traveling in a foreign country because basically it's carte blanche. It is, you can sort of do anything you want within the legal boundaries. And I'm going to switch you again. Okay. And so what happened was their government figured out that their person in a similar position in our country didn't have diplomatic status. And so they took it away when we got there. Our vehicle had been brought with us and would be completely illegal on their roads. The steering was on the wrong side. All our tags and everything were, from our state, not internationally. And it was stuck in their port for about 3 months, and only a bribe got it out. And not a bribe that we could do, a bribe from a local who the embassy used to do that. But that's not the story. As fascinating as that is, I'm giving you the background there to kind of set up the atmosphere in which we were operating. I had my children with me. They were young at that time. My son was 6, 7 years old. He was definitely first grade. And we had come from California, where I was not happy with the school system there. His kindergarten teacher was teaching at too simple a level for him, and so he had been boosted into a really good teacher's kindergarten class. And so I was ready for him to be in first grade. My next child was 4 years old, and I was keeping her at home, and then I had an infant. And I already had been with my son, just, getting him interested in the world around him, explaining things to him, having him help us with certain things, trying to feed his interest, because at that time he was really into bugs. And so I'd gotten him like models of bugs and magazines with bugs in it. And so when we showed up at the place where we were renting, it was a big kind of colonial style house, but it was third worldy. So no screens in the windows, and several bathrooms, no hot running water. We showered by a big tank on the roof that was heated up by the sun, and then that came down into the various bathrooms and shower stalls and everything. And so we were moving in, and there were some people from our embassy helping us move in, which they didn't have to do. That was a courtesy they did for us, because without diplomatic status, then we're just any old American couple, and we don't get help from the embassy. And so the guys are showing up to help us carry boxes in, put them in this house wherever we want them to go. And we're outside in the driveway, which was concrete, and it leads up to the house, and there's sort of an overhang there, and right behind it is a fence like this and a field. It's the same field I went across when I rescued the wild puppy from being beaten to death, but that's another story. Trying to get this thing set so I don't have to keep carrying it and doesn't keep, oh, sorry. Whoa, it doesn't keep wobbling. Let's see if I can get this thing set by turning this the wrong way. We're there on the driveway, and it's a new, it's a new thing. We've just moved out of a hotel, so we've been kind of enclosed, and now we're in a yard, and it's new. It's a tropical place, and the trees are different, and the flowers are different, and the animals are different, and we're just searching around, and my son says, "Oh, look, Mom, a scorpion." And I'm like, "Ooh, that is sort of interesting. Haven't seen a scorpion." Here, I know what I can do to make this better. Haven't seen a scorpion before, not in person, not like that. And so we go over to look at it, and I call this guy Little Man because he was small. He was a short person. He sees what we're doing, and so he comes over to look too, and then he's like, "No, no, no, don't do that thing, don't do that thing." And he grabs two sticks, like twigs, to make like chopsticks, two of them the same length, long and skinny, about that long from your elbow to your wrist. He holds them like chalk sticks, and the whole time he's saying the word for no, which is T-dot, T-dot. And, like waving us off, stand back, stand back. And he picks this thing up, and he flicks it over that fence. Boing! Here, can you see that? Throws it over that fence, and then he's trying to talk to us. And I can't really understand everything he's saying. We're new to the country. I know the few words like yes and no, but I don't know all of them. But there's another man there with him who's taller, who's Indian, dot not feather, and he understands him. So I asked the other fellow, what is he saying? And he said, "This is a very poisonous scorpion. The smaller they are, the more poison they have. And he's trying to tell you to stay away from it." And I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh, welcome to this new country. Yeah, this is awesome. But luckily he was there. And luckily he, got us away from it. And we were all fine. So that was my first experience. Not my first. That was my first kind of scary experience in that house. And there weren't a whole lot more. As a matter of fact, we had a lot of nice times in that house. One of the things being, and I'll leave you with this so you have a pleasant thought at the end of the story, because it was a temperate zone, a jungle atmosphere, hot all the time, we bought some guppies and we put them in tubs. Yeah, plastic tubs. They had big plastic tubs that I could buy there at the store really inexpensively. So we put them on the porches because we had several, and filled them with water, put the guppies in, and they just multiplied. It was the coolest thing ever, because as a kid I had tried to, raise guppies in an aquarium, and it goes okay, but the littlest thing go wrong, and now they're sick, or they're too hot, or they're too cold. And here they just multiplied. When we left, we just put them in the local pond, because they could grow there too. That experience there was a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to get to take care of these chickens. Shalom.